Damien Lee, welcome to my living room.
Lisa, it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it is such a pleasure to finally be talking with you. I know that we've scheduled this a couple times, and due to, I guess, unfortunate circumstances, the interview couldn't happen, but we're here today, and that's all that counts.
Finally, and that's what matters.
Yes. First of all, I need to ask you, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm doing great. I've had part of what I just call my life's journey recently going on in the middle of this whole craziness that the world's found itself in recently. But I've now come out the latest side of my recent treatments that I've been having and feel great, clear, focused and ready to do so much.
Just so our viewers know exactly what we're talking about, just briefly touch on your illness battle that you've been dealing with.
Sure. Okay. So my story, I guess, is I'm dealing with my fourth diagnosis of cancer. In fact, I've had two primary cancers. So my first cancer, which was late stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma of the chest and stomach, I got through that one. Then I had a second primary cancer. So I scored the jackpot and I got neck and throat cancer. That neck and throat cancer, which was unrelated to my first cancer completely, then metastasized to my bones, my pelvic bones, and I dealt with that. And now it's again metastasized to my chest and stomach and different parts. And I've now just completed my 78th chemo and radiotherapy treatment and 3 surgeries in, and feeling great and too busy for cancer, as I always tell people.
Well, it sounds like it, and you are so positive and upbeat. How do you maintain that attitude?
Wow. Funny enough, I was just asked that question yesterday here in the UK in another interview I did, and I was kind of asking myself, how do I? But, I think it's very much in my own nature. I've always had a very positive outlook to life. As I said yesterday, I'm surrounded by fantastic people and family and friends and colleagues in my life. My job is to uplift them and keep them positive. And in the process, I keep myself positive. I've recently got engaged and 2 amazing boys. I'm a single full-time dad as well. And with the pandemic here in the UK, a lot like the US too, we've had the children at home because there's been no school. So I've got to spend a lot of time with my boys. Normally they're at school, and good or bad, I don't know. Sometimes I think I need a break from them right now too, but it's been amazing. So I've just got so much going on in my life. As I said, too busy for cancer. So we've got a great business that's flourishing around the world now, and we've just come into the US. So I've just got so much to do and so much good positivity going on.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to unpack there with your answer. First of all, congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
And second of all, how old are your boys?
So my boys are 12 and 13, so they're very close.
Wow.
And chalk and cheese.
And you said you're a single dad.
Yes, single full-time dad.
Wow. You are the definition of inspirational. So kudos to you for balancing all of that and keeping a smile on your face. That's really,
Thank
really
you.
great. So let's talk about your business, because that's what brought us together here today. Mr. Lee's Noodles. You just mentioned that you recently broke into the United States. Tell us all about your product. Okay.
So we've recently, and that was a whole nother story, that we launched into the US in the middle of shutdown in the US. The day before we were due to start our first US production run. We make our product in California, and I'll talk about the product in a second, just outside LA. So we're a Californian product. And the day before we were about to start our first US production run, lockdown happened in California. And we're over here in the UK going, oh my gosh, how's that going to affect everything? And our launch partner in the US is Whole Foods Markets. So we launched in May with Whole Foods nationally. So we're in every store of Whole Foods now. So that was a challenge, with everything going on, but we managed to pull it off, thanks to a great team and everyone working really hard. Our initial launch product is our noodle range, Mr. Lee's Noodles. We've launched 4, actually they're right behind me, so some of the range. And we've launched 4 of our SKUs in America. And we're super excited. We're a healthy instant ramen. So many people know ramen and instant ramen or noodles in a cup or in a packet. My range is quite different. Well, it's still noodles in a cup, but we have no nasties, no MSGs, no palm oils. We're the lowest in sugars. We have all gluten-free. We have vegan options, but really high quality, real food ingredients, freeze-dried ingredients. So you've got that nutritional and protein in the cup, and a product that's quite personal for me because I created this product. I've always been a noodle lover all my life and ate tons of noodles. And at the time, being a time-poor entrepreneur, I ate lots of instant noodles, didn't particularly care what was in them at the time. But after discovering and my first diagnosis of cancer, I took all the nasties out of my diet and went raw at the time. And I was a big believer in you are what you eat. And I realized I couldn't have my favorite guilty pleasure anymore, ramen in a cup. So I had to create my own range of noodles that I can eat.
That is so cool. So did you have a background in food distribution or in cooking? How did you get your business off the ground?
Not at all, not at all. My background, I'm an entrepreneur and I've had lots of different businesses. No particular one has followed the other one. I describe myself as a bit of a disruptor. I'm one of these people that are constantly, when I'm out and about, I'm looking at things and wondering, why is it done that way? Couldn't it be done better? Couldn't we improve things? So my mind's always going, I'm a restless soul. I often describe myself as unemployable because I'm always looking for different options. And, I've had all sorts of different businesses over the years. I served in the military back home in Australia at one point. So I've had a risk management company that's operated in Iraq and Afghanistan. I founded a maritime satellite communications company, which is, funny enough, now the second largest in the world, but I sold out of that way too early. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be doing noodles now. All sorts. I've had restaurants, I've had recruitment companies, marketing businesses, but today it's a food business. And there is a bit of a backstory. I don't know if you want to hear it, and I can be short.
Of course I want to hear it.
Okay, so I'm originally from Sydney, Australia, but I was living in London here in the UK a number of years back. And I moved down to where we're based as a brand. And I live today in a seaside town here called Bournemouth in southwest England. And, I moved down here because there's a beach, and being Australian, I love the beach and I needed to be back by the ocean. And I came down here to start an internet startup company at the time called Design Gadgets. And that was about a year into that business when I was diagnosed with the cancer. And I kind of lost that business because I had to move on with getting better. But it was actually during Design Gadgets, I did a business trip to China. And when I was in China, I was hosted by two business brothers in China that one of their businesses, they own China's 5th largest instant noodle factory. And they were taking me for a tour of their factory, and they were showing me their different businesses. And while we're in that factory, one of the brothers said to me, Damien, we make over 5 billion instant noodles a year just for the Chinese market, just for our local market. We don't sell internationally at all. And I was like, okay. And they said, look, we know you're in the UK, and we'd be really interested if you could help us import and distribute our noodles into the UK and Europe. And I said, well, look, I'm flattered that you're offering me this opportunity, but I know nothing about retail. I know nothing about noodles outside of eating them. And by the way, I've got my own startup company and I'm quite busy. So thank you, but no thanks. And it was kind of that awkward moment when you just turn down somebody, and we're in the middle of their factory and I'm surrounded by mountains of their product and boxes. So I just tried to make a little bit of small talk. And I said to one of the brothers, I said, by the way, which is your favorite flavor? And this is a true story. And the brother looked at me and smiled and said, oh, we don't eat our own noodle. And I said, what do you mean? Why is that? And he said, if you knew what we put in them, you wouldn't too. And I said, but what? And I was kind of just like what you've done, that expression.
Yeah.
I did the same thing because I've been eating tons of noodles. As I said, time poor entrepreneur, didn't particularly care. I'm thinking, my God, what have I been putting in my body? What do you mean you wouldn't eat them too? And he said, look, I said, but why? And he said, look, it's really simple. He said, 10 odd years ago, there were over 300 instant noodle companies, whatever the number was, here in China. Today, there's less than 50 odd of us. And I again said, why is that? And he said, it's really simple. He said, we're all competing on margin so much that, it's getting more and more competitive that we're dumbing down our product. There's nothing real we can put in our product. And I'm like, wow. And I'm standing in the
Scary
factory.
is that. Isn't that scary?
And that is scary. That is scary. So it was kind of, I locked that away and took that away with me and thought, wow, gosh, I'm not going to eat an instant noodle again. But it was kind of when I lost my startup company after doing my first round of treatment and got better. And at the end of that first year, I lost my business and I thought, wow, what am I going to do now? Do I get a job? God forbid, no way. Do I try and get my old startup company going, or do I do something new? And it was that moment I thought maybe I could be that noodle guy for those brothers I met, a year and a bit ago, or a couple of years ago at that point. And then I thought, I did a quick bit of research and looked at the size and the opportunity of the instant noodle market. And I realized this is a big market. There's over 100 billion instant noodles sold and consumed and made around the world each year and growing. And I thought, But then I kind of did a bit more research and realized they're all pretty much in that same race to the bottom. They're all dumbing down their product. They're all competing with each other on margin. And there I thought, here's the opportunity. Here is the opportunity. So I thought, how could I honestly put my hand on my heart, believing what I've just been through and believing you are what you eat and sell and market a nasty noodle? I thought the opportunity is actually to go completely the opposite direction. Well, they're all in that race to the bottom. I'm going to go that way and create the world's healthiest instant noodle and the costliest for all the good reasons. Okay, we're putting real food in there. We're putting real ingredients. We're almost artisan the way we actually make our product as well versus the others. Gluten-free, vegan options, and so on. And that's what I did. And a noodle I could eat. And I created Mr. Lee's Noodles.
Congratulations to you. But more importantly, thank you for giving the public something that is delicious, but also healthy. Shame on these companies that are poisoning us just to make a dollar amount. It is
absolutely
so criminal to me, and
it infuriates me.
Disgusting.
It's it's shocking, and it's something that we at Mr. Lee's want to be transparent. We're not perfect yet, but you know what? What we tell our consumers is we're doing our best to get better. We're sustainable. We have no plastic sachets in our pots. Our cups are recyclable. So we're doing everything we can to do better, because I really believe food companies, food manufacturers can do better. And it's not always about just making a profit, as you said. It's about what we're doing to our customers and what we're putting in our body truly does matter. And we're in this global pandemic right now, and it's all about health. And my gosh, people need to really take care. And it's up to the food companies and little disruptive brands like us to hopefully and helpfully push through and do better. It's our duty.
Yeah, and it's up to the consumer too to look at labels and learn and figure out what it is that they're putting in their body. I shop at Whole Foods. I mean, that's my go-to. And Whole Foods does a really good job in curating products like yours. And but still, you never know. You never know what's lurking. Something may look healthy, the packaging may be deceiving, and then when you turn the box around, it has like 5,000 ingredients, and you don't want that. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Lisa. My pleasure.
I hope you're writing a book. I know you're a really busy man, but because you have such a story, and I hope you're putting it on paper.
Well, guess what? It's so funny you say that. We are doing a book right now, but it's actually a Mr. Lee's noodle cookbook. So we've been commissioned by Penguin, Ebury Press, the big global publishers. Yeah. And I've just finished writing that with my team. So during lockdown, it was funny because it was a real difficult time because our team need to be in the kitchens working on these recipes, and myself, and we had to all isolate and do our little bits individually at home in our little silos. And it was a real challenge, but we're just finalizing that now with the publishers, and we'll be launching the book beginning of March 2021, and it's called the Noodle Cookbook, and it's 100 noodle recipes, and it's basically for time poor people making healthier noodles at home in 30 minutes or less in terms of preparation and cook time. So that launches in America as well in the new year. So we're really excited.
That is really cool. And while that is a great book, and I can't wait to get it, you need to write your story on paper.
Yeah, yeah.
They can turn that into a Netflix series.
Well, yeah. So, well, that's hopefully coming too. Stay tuned.
Okay. If anybody can do it, it's you. So I know you can do it.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm blushing.
Yeah. Damien, where can people find out more about you and Mr. Lee's Noodles?
Well, I guess, the obvious place is to start on our website. In fact, we're just launching our new global website today. Today.
Congratulations.
So that's been another lockdown project. Actually, it's been about a 9-month project. So we're launching our new, old, shiny new website today, which is, it's got all sorts of bells and whistles with it. So we're excited about that. So it tells a bit about the story, I guess, Google, and there's videos and on YouTube and all sorts of places. I've been quite lucky that numerous media and so forth are interested in our story and brand and what we're doing. So, which has been fantastic to help get our message and what we're doing out. Yeah.
Well, if you're ever in New Jersey, not this year, next year, right? Because the way things are going, everything's locking down again. I don't know if it's like that where you are, but definitely here in the States, unfortunately.
I'm watching closely.
Especially
like,
you.
wow.
Yeah, you have to be. But when you're in New Jersey next year, we should do something so
I'd love to.
Our audience, our television audience can learn more about you and the product, and that would be really fun.
That'd be great, and I'd love to. And thank you for the invite. I love Jersey and and all the surrounding areas. So I'll be there.
All right, awesome.
Watch out.
Thank you so much, and I'll be thinking of you. You're in my prayers. Continued good health, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank
Big kiss.
you. This was so great. I'm so happy we did this finally.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.